10 things that every man should know how to do or have within their everyday carry, or at least accessible to them every day. I'm not saying carry this stuff every day, have it on you at all times, but at a minimum, if you're not familiar with this stuff, you're doing it all wrong. Number one is a pocket knife. Listen, it befuddles me. It just throws my mind for a loop when I see a grown ass man that doesn't have access to a pocket knife. Maybe you don't want it on your person. You're always in suits or you go to places where you can't carry it, or at a minimum, have one on their body. It should be one in your armrest. It should be one maybe in your person. Maybe you keep one in your bag. But if you have to run and go get a pair of scissors when it's time to simply open a box, they're super useful for cutting. And if you don't want to carry a pocket knife, okay, I get that. Maybe you want to carry a multi-tool. That can be great for screwing, unscrewing stuff, opening things. They're super reliable. You don't have to use things that are not a pocket knife to do something stupid with it. So I know some of you guys are big fans of multi-tools. I have the Leatherman Juice here, which I wish they would bring back. But I've seen folks that would just carry these independently. I carried this all last weekend. Super useful. Used the saw on this to make some cuts while I was working on a wall inside my house. Use this to screw in and take things apart, replacing batteries and toys and all that type of stuff. This is a great one tool type of thing, but a lot of us are big fans of knives. Doesn't matter if you're going to carry yourself something like a smaller utility knife. This is kind of X-Acto size blade knife, but the Gerber Pry Bar X, it also has a pry bar at the end and a slotted screwdriver, can opener, bottle opener, all the other crap. But maybe you want to have something a little bit more traditional. A lot of us are big into pocket knives, folding pocket knives. This is CJRB Hectera Alt. Great affordable knife that normally comes in less than 60 bucks, and it's easy to use and easy to carry. But a lot of us are kind of going towards the way of the fixed blade knife. And a lot of us are big fans of just being able to have a smaller fixed blade. It's coming. I used this the other day to sharpen a pencil. No, that sounds crazy, but love this thing. This is from Have Knives. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's their drop point, very aggressive, but just actually very fun to carry in the pocket. Damascus finish on the blade looks really, really good. And it's still extremely useful. Listen, man, know how to get a knife, use a knife, and just have it on you at all times. It's super useful to just be able to reach, pull behind you, pull out a knife, and be ready to rock and roll. Today, my EDC is the Montana Knife Company. This one specifically is the Battle Goat. You can also carry stuff from any brand that I talked about. I just talked about another fixed blade. You can get yourself something that's more of a traditional folder, whatever. But pocket knife is a must. Second thing we got to talk about is analog or digital watch over smartwatch. Come at me, bro. Okay, just come at me. That brings us to today's video sponsor, Veer and their Dirty Dozen watches. Here, first off, I love Veer and their watches, but mainly because the craftsmanship, this micro brand is really making some stuff happen, and they satisfy my requirement to have an analog watch over a smartwatch. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the Dirty Dozen watches. The British defense minister back during World War II, he commissioned a set of watches to be made that were accurate, reliable, affordable, and durable. And that's where we got the Dirty Dozen brand of watches. They were field watches worn by officers, some commissioned officers as well, military members that had accurate time readings so that they know, hey, this is where we need to be in a certain place. We're about to drop some mortars in this area, whatever. Everybody can have reliable times. They can take bumps and bruises. That inspired Dirty Dozen has followed us to today's watches, and I'd love a company that is really going for the accuracy of the Dirty Dozen. Now, those watches back in the day were 35, 36 millimeter, and I want to stick to that. That's why I do have I have the Dirty Dozen in the automatic, and I also the A12 Dirty Dozen, and I have the C3 Dirty Dozen, which is their quartz movement. This is just all about aesthetics, pricing, accuracy. That's going to be which one you decide is best for you. Me, I'm a sucker for the automatic movement. Here you get a Swiss-made watch with an automatic movement, and you can see the movement. So visible for you if you decide to take this thing off, if you want to just stare at it and just take it all in. So I'm a big fan of the automatic movement. However, if you want to save yourself some money, you could always get the AmeriQuartz movement. This one specifically is USA assembled. It is extremely accurate, has a longer standby time. And it doesn't have the aesthetics of being able to see the movement in the back, but you still get the accuracy here. You still get the very good looking watch itself. You can get this in a 36 or a 40 millimeter, and you don't have to wear a smartwatch. I've done a video 5 ways a smartwatch can save your life. These are some of them. Extreme scenario, you can break this and turn it into a knife. It can show you which way to go south. You can find north. Smartwatch can't do that once it dies. These things are very, very reliable. So shout out to Bear for sponsoring today's video. Use the link in the description to get yourself 10% off the Dirty Dozen watches or any other eligible watch. You should also know for number 3, how to defend yourself. Everyday carry type of stuff. I've already talked about maybe you carry yourself knife, but you can also, my number 1 recommendation for defending yourself is going to be carrying yourself the glizzy, always having a weapon at the ready. And so for me, that's my number 1 go-to. But some folks, you just don't, you maybe not a big fan of carrying a weapon with you, or you don't want to learn how to do it, or weapons scare you or whatever. So I can understand that. So at a minimum, you should try to get yourself some self-defense skills. Okay, let's say you can't do that. Maybe you're fat. Maybe you don't have the desire to do it, whatever. Then you should at least have the ability to evade. You might want to get stuff that helps you with evasion, whether that is going to be pepper gel, where you can spray this towards someone that is trying to harm you or your family members, or you get yourself some type of like a high beam flashlight, which you can use to evade. So you don't have to engage in the fight and you can call for help. But at a minimum, men, you should know how to defend yourself. That is a third thing. Everyday carry items all kind of surround that. And that's why I talk about, generally, if you can't do that, then it's a disservice to yourself and your family, because you should be able to get yourself home in any situation that you will get in. Number 4, you do defend yourself. Now you need a small med kit. Maybe you want to get a trauma kit. Maybe you want to DIY it. Maybe you want to buy it pre-built. I'll link down below some of my favorite pre-builts. I kind of sort of either like pre-builts to go in my truck, and I like the DIY stuff that kind of stays at my house. Adventure Medical Kit is my number 1 go-to for pre-built kits. 1110 is my go-to for trauma kits. Urban Medical Gear makes some great stuff as well. Just get yourself a reliable bag, reliable case. Put the items within your med kit so you know exactly where they are. Ouchie boo boo kits, as people begin to use the antiseptic wipes, as they begin to use the saline or the band-aids or some no-name brand of adhesive, you know they need replacing because you can physically see when there are items missing. But if you just throw shit all in your med kits, you're not going to have a clue. You're not going to know that you're low on gauze or cotton balls or safety pins or whatever else you decide to put into your kits. Next, we got to talk about flashlights. I think flashlights are incredibly important. I do believe that you should keep a flashlight on your person. They're great for low light usefulness. Movie theaters, looking underneath your vehicle, looking underneath a couch, be the hero that saves the day by finding that sock. Okay, so maybe that's kind of stuff is important to me. They're important for emergency situations. You lose power and you weren't expecting to do so. There's all your flashlight on you. But once again, like a knife, maybe you don't want to keep it on your person. I do like to keep it on my person. One of the things I like to keep on me the best is the Ace Beam. And I like the smaller flashlight. These pocket light double A's are very affordable. They're normally less than 20 bucks. This is a titanium version. This thing's almost 100 bucks, but you don't have to get anything like this. I like this one particularly because it runs on a rechargeable AA battery. If you don't have a USB-C charger with you, or you forgot to charge it, you can always just throw a AA in here. So I think this is a great option for you. If you want something a little bit more substantial, I'm a big fan, and it can be used as a work light. I'm a huge fan of the Whiskey Foxtrot 25 Romeo mic. Here, this one here is by Phoenix. Long name, tremendous results. This has a little built-in carabiner. Fantastic, very, very strong UV light on this. So you can find your scorpions. You can inspect your dollars. You can also check the lume on your watch. You can make sure if there's any pet stains that may be nearby. See if your kids, took a leak in a corner somewhere. Great UV light for that. Easy to use modes on this. Great in the hand, but I like a good work light as well. Maybe you want a light that has a magnetic base, or you can clip it to your backpack, or you can clip it to your clothes, or whatever the case may be. This is the Olight O-Clip Pro. Very affordable. It's normally less than 35 bucks. Different modes on this that you can turn it on, and includes a red light and a white light, and easy to use and switch between those different modes. So I just think that at a minimum, you should keep a flashlight, I do believe, on your person. But if it's not on your person, armrest of your vehicle, in a kitchen drawer that's very organized, not some shitty junk drawer, or at least on your desk, ready to use at a moment's notice. The next one, I can't believe how many men I know that don't have the basic ability to use basic tools. I'm not talking about 12-volt monsters by Milwaukee, 36-volt monsters by Metabo HPT, a 20-volt drill that's coming in from Flex. I'm just talking about your run-of-the-mill slotted screwdriver, Phillips, hammers, nails. I'm talking about if I ask a buddy for a socket and wrench set, he goes and bring me an open wrench, and I just hold my head in disappointment. If I ask a friend to, go get me some water pump pliers or a tongue and groove pliers, adjustable wrench. They don't have it or they don't know how the hell to use it. I think that you are giving yourself a great disservice to not have the ability to use very basic tools. Just know how to know when to select the right tool for the job. Those are really important. If I come to your house, you don't know how to use basic tools or you don't have basic tools, I'm roasting you immediately. At a minimum, men should have cash on them at all times. Several reasons. One, there's going to be places you go into the world where they just don't take credit cards and you need some cash on you. So I keep an emergency $20 bill rolled up here in my wingback cash, play on words. I've talked about this thing a ton of times, but you should always keep some money on you so you can pay for things. Second reason is even if it's not an emergency, there are places I go, I don't want to swipe my card. Okay. Sketchy places, places I'm not really sure about the protections to use my debit or credit cards. I prefer to use cash or totally viable places. I was in Vegas. I trust to swipe my card all over Vegas, but I also really do believe that sometimes when you swipe your card, debit or credit, they track you. They send all of a sudden, I buy maybe some new mattress covers for my boys. All of a sudden, I'm getting sent advertisements for new blankets and comforters. And I'm like, how the hell do they have this information? So, at a minimum, you should have cash on you. It's also good for being able to tip somebody and not be a complete asshole. And just generally making sure that you're able to take care of things on the fly with actual physical dollars. The next one is a workstation with a pen and notebook. Now, everyone can't afford within their everyday carry to carry a pen and notebook. You don't have any use for it. I get that. But somewhere in your apartment, in your room, in your house, you need to have somewhere where you can sit, you can grab yourself a pen and notebook, you can put it in front of you, you can write your thoughts, you can log what you ate that day, you can just brain dump on some stuff, you can write whatever, track your workouts, and it's really good for men to be able to process through those things. I particularly like the stuff that comes from Lockbee, whether it's their A5 size, field note size, A7 size notebooks, the journal size, whatever. I'm always trying to keep something at the ready for me. Particularly, you may want to just get something to run from Moleskin. You can check out my notebook that I sell on my website as well. But you don't have to physically keep on your person. Now, this was new. This one's coming out from Max Level EDC. It's kind of a wallet size notebook that you can use or whatever the hell you want to use it for. You don't necessarily need to keep it on your person. Maybe you feel it's too bulky or you only use it once a week, but at least have it available to you. Okay. So if you need to leave somebody a note, you need to gather someone's information, you need to dump your brain onto pen and pad, have a part of your everyday carry or within your vicinity a pen and notebook. Have something you're going to use and that you like, even if it's a G5 pen, a big pen that you get from Target, well, maybe not Target. Maybe, maybe you get it from somewhere else and you could just know that you're going to use it, have it available to you. I think that's important. You should journal daily, in my opinion, but maybe once a week is good too. Number 9 is the basic vehicle maintenance. This is similar to using basic tools, makes me hold my forehead within my own hands when this occurs. As a man, you should know how to check your oil levels, maybe your transmission fluid levels, have the ability to make an emergency repair on your vehicle with stuff that you keep in your vehicle. I'm driving down the road on a 4-hour drive from Dallas to Houston, and the bug guard on the front of my truck just starts flapping in the wind. Get out, grab myself some duct tape, paste it down onto the vehicle. 2 more hours of driving, I'm good to go. Very easy repair, right? But also, you need to have the ability to do a major quick repair, changing a tire. As we move deeper into the 21st century, less and less men have the ability to know how to loosen some, so soften some, break some lug nuts, jack up a car, finish taking off the lug nuts, get the spare, make sure it's properly inflated by checking it once a month, throwing it on the vehicle, maybe even moving that from your front to the rear if it's the front tire that goes out. Like all these small little details that you should know how to do when it comes to proper vehicle maintenance, as well as jump starting a car. Here's a part of the everyday care for me is always at the ready. I don't carry traditional jumper cables anymore. I got rid of those out of my vehicle probably a year and a half ago. I only carry the smaller jump starter, not by Avapow. You can get them from Fantic or tons of companies that sell those, where you can just hook them to your battery or hook them to someone else's battery and give yourself a jump. Basic vehicle maintenance can save your ass. It can keep you safe. You should know how to do that stuff. And if you don't, I'm also roasting you immediately. Here's the last one. The last one kind of almost hurts my heart to say, okay? But every man should have a phone. I say this because there are some folks, especially Gen Zers, who are trying to purposely like disconnect that, or purposely go throwbacky and go to like a flip phone or whatever. Maybe that's something that you want to do, but you should have a phone with you for several reasons. But you should also know when to disconnect from your phone and go straight primitive. First off, the two phones that I carry, carry the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL and the iPhone 13 Pro. These are my two phones. One is for work, one is for personal. And I use these for a number of different ways. The work phone, the iPhone, I disconnect from this all the time. Once my day is over, this thing is just thrown, put into, normally just put on a charger here in the man cave, and I don't touch it to the next day. My personal phone, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, is my go-to. I love this phone, love the way it looks, love the way it functions. But if I need to pull this away from myself, I can. So if I want to go to the grocery store with an iPod only, throw some earbuds in, I won't even take this with me. That's knowing when to disconnect. But the reason you want to have a phone available to you is so you do have it for those emergency situations, but also you may want to have a phone that has unique features that can be helpful to you. My Google Pixel 9 Pro XL has a thermometer built in, which I never imagined could be something that would be useful to me, but it absolutely is. So I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago. While in Vegas, I got crazy sick, and most of us don't EDC or put in your luggage or have available to you a thermometer, especially on vacation. Here, I go in here, I tap measure. Bring center of camera bar closer to forehead. Scan to temple. Complete. Boom, just like that. What says 96.6. So it is accurate. It's approved by the FDA for use on human beings, and I'm probably like in a 97, high 97 degrees. It's cold here in the man cave. But my point being is I have the ability to take care of myself in an emergency situation with the usefulness of my phone. This wasn't on my list in the previous, because I kind of just believe that, yeah, phones are important, but you don't always need one with you. Now I'm kind of seeing more and more importance. Don't try to be that guy that's going back to the Motorola Razor or to some generic track phone that flips only because you're trying to be cool. Get yourself with a couple of features, something that can be useful and helpful out to you. Convince your grandparents of the same things as well. What are some items that I'm missing when it comes to everyday carry? Tons of things I could have mentioned. Carry a bag with you every day, or make sure you have this on you every day. I know all that stuff could have been included, but the biggest point is you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're always growing as a man. That's my goal here. We're talking about some of this stuff here. Shout out to Vera once again for sponsoring today's video. Use the link down below to get yourself 10% off. Put your comments down below from what I'm missing. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.